Hey guys, it's Todd from Human Predator Pack Mule, and this video is going to teach you some breathing mechanics. And to better teach you, I'm going to show you a position that it's really easy to learn them in, which is called the 90-90 position. So what I'm going to do is lay down, my back flat on the floor, I'm going to have my knees bent at 90 degrees and my hips bent at 90 degrees. What that's going to allow me to do is get my pelvis into a good position so that I can learn to breathe with apical expansion, with like apex, right? So we're breathing through our entire torso. The air is going to come in low in our belly, expand in 360 degrees, work up into our chest, and get out. So learning to do it in this position helps, like I said, because we can position our pelvis in a really good position, but also there's less threat imposed on our body, and we can relax everywhere else. Because when you're in gravity, there's a lot more for your body to control, and you have to way more stuff to stabilize. So when we get into this position, we can just get into that advantageous position where our ribs are pointed at our hips are pointed at our ribs, and also we can engage our hamstrings so that our abs, which are mainly there to help protect the spine and to help us breathe, can do their job. So we want our hamstrings to control our pelvis, which a lot of times what we do is we over accentuate our abs and try to control our pelvis with our abs, which makes it difficult for us to breathe. So this trains us to use our hamstrings to control our pelvis while also learning good breathing mechanics. So let's walk through it. First thing I'm going to do is pop down here on the ground. I'm going to put my heels up on the bench. From this position, I'm going to lay down. If you have, you can put something under your head if you have a hard time keeping your chin tucked. I do sometimes, and that helps out sometimes. So what we're going to do from this position is I'm going to start to gently push my heels into the floor so that my pelvis rotates. And as my pelvis rotates, that's going to flatten my back out on the floor. We want our back as flat as possible on the floor and our ribs down. Remember, we want to engage those hamstrings by pushing down. From this position, I'm going to take a quiet breath in through my nose so I fill up my entire abdominal cavity and chest with air, starting low here and coming up. I want to expand up and out. A good way to test if you're breathing the way that you want to is to kind of take your fingers and jab them in just above your hips so that you can feel expanding. Then you can take your hand also and press it on your belly so you feel expanding. And you should also feel your back pressing into the floor as you breathe. So I'm going to dig into the bench with my heels. I'm going to get my head set up a little bit better there. Try to keep my chin down. I'm going to tilt so my back's flat on the floor. Now from this position, quiet breath in. Then I'm going to breathe out like I'm trying to fog up a mirror. I'm going to take a quiet breath in. And like I said, you should feel that air pressing out to your sides, coming up this way, pressing your back into the floor, and then rising the whole way up through your upper body from the bottom of your belly up into your chest. Remember, your back should be flat on the floor the whole time. Your heels should be pressed on the bench so your hamstrings engage. Do like 5 breaths like that, then rest, then do another set of 5 breaths, and you'll start to get it. When you can start to nail these breathing mechanics, you'll have a much better function of your core, and you also have more endurance, because a lot of times what's going to mess up your endurance, like whether you're running or whatever, is because your breathing patterns are poor. And that means you're not getting the oxygen you need. It means that your movement's going to be inefficient. All of those things contribute. So practice this, learn your breathing mechanics, and then think about transferring it into whatever else you're doing. Once you stand up, okay, can I breathe in quietly through my nose and out through my mouth and maintain that position as I fill up my entire body with air? And if you feel like you can't fill up your entire body with air, or from your belly up into your chest, start to ask some questions about that and pay attention to your position. And then try to find positions where you can breathe, and then try to find those positions and use them. Okay, cool. Thanks so much. Have a great